Welcome to Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy for World Cup Bobsled on Speed Channel. This is the fourth event of the season, the two-man competition today. They've been racing bobsleds in this picturesque Italian city for 80 years now. This is a two-heat event. We're going to be showing you the second heat of action. I am Chris Kelly along with John Morgan. John, every track in the world has its own specific identity, and this track is certainly one of the most difficult in the world.
This is a traditional bobsled track. Currently in sixth place, Todd Hayes and Bill Schuffenauer in the Bodine sled. Not far out of third. It's a long reach for the goal for the Bodine team today. Next up to Matthias Hofter. This guy had a great first run considering a deficient start time. We know he's a good pilot. Him and Hayes are separated by 1/100 of a second. The Russian Alexander Zubkov, his brakeman Dmitry, they're in fourth. They weren't as powerful on the track in the first heat as they've been in the first three World Cups in two-man bobsled. Andre Lange, new brakeman Marcus Zimmerman, they brought him off the shelf. He's 40 years old. The guy still knows how to push. And Lange has got himself in podium position again. Martin Annan and Cedric Grand, they won this race last weekend in Innsbruck, and he was fast again in the first heat. And it was flying. But the guy that was flying right here, Pierre Lueders, Laceus Brown of Canada. Lueders has won on this track before, and he was flying in the first heat again today. He's our leader.
Should be very close. Here's the standings as we take a look at the first run times. These are the sleds that you're going to be seeing in run number 2. USA 1, driven by Todd Hayes, as John said, in 6th position, but possibly could end up on the podium with a strong second run. All the top drivers within a second of each other, and we're going to take a look at USA 3 as well. Steve Holcomb trying to crack the top 10. Here's a look at your track map. 12 curves out there, John, but some of the straightaways aren't exactly simple either.
This is a traditional bobsled track. Most of the other tracks are combo tracks built above the ground. You look at this one, it's built into the ground. It's still refrigerated, but it's got bumpy ice on it, much like the backyard speed skating rink you built for yourself. Those above ground tracks, the ice is very smooth. That's because luge competes in those tracks. Here, this is not a luge track. This is a traditional bobsled track. Out of curve 1. Good start. Got to be really quiet up here. Let the sled run, but look how bumpy it is. Look at the ice. It's really bumpy, really tough for the drivers to keep the sled straight. Our first speed trap, the Cento. Now we're coming into a 3-corner combination. It's called a Labyrinth. Every track's got to have one. Here in Cortina on this third Labyrinth, you're going to have some problems coming out right there. Now another speed trap into Belvedere Bandillon. The first of 2 big corner combinations. Belvedere, now a big right, Bandillon. The exit here is crucial. Couple accidents so far this week in this little counter curve right there. Now, another speed trap into Antolo Cristallo. Check this out. Big right, big left, 3.5, 4 G's of force. You're rocking down here about 70+ miles an hour. A big jump right there. Now in this little counter curve before the finish, another speed trap. Now the finish corner gets a chance to beat you up for one more time. Another 4 G's of force. That is a bobsled track.
When we come back, we'll check in with Jeff Bodine and the guys who keep the American sleds running smoothly.
Hi, Matt Lattimore here with the little shaver the big companies don't want you to know about. It's called Titanium Turbo. There isn't a guy I know who isn't upset over the rising cost of razor blades. And at $60 or $70, electrics are no bargain either. That's why we created the high-performance Titanium Turbo. At under $15, we think it's the best value in shaving today. It's small and easy to handle, yet it performs like a full-size electric. Watch how Titanium Turbo tackles this thick beard in seconds. The secret's the razor-like design. Add the power of 24 microblades in the titanium-plated head, and you've got a shaver that sweeps away hair at 8,000 strokes per minute. The result is a smooth, comfortable shave day after day, month after month.
So, how does Titanium Turbo stack up against a blade?
This man shaved half his face with a leading razor
And the other half with our electric Titanium Turbo.
She can't tell the difference, and neither will you. Try Titanium Turbo at home risk-free and see for yourself. It also makes a great second shaver for the gym, the office, and is great for traveling too. Could the big companies make a longer-lasting blade or a reasonably priced electric? You bet they could, but we did.
Call now to get the Titanium Turbo for only $14.99. It's the little shaver that delivers the performance of a full-size electric for a fraction of the price.
Call now and we'll also include our T2 10-piece grooming kit. Yours free.
That's right. You get both the Titanium Turbo and the T2 10-piece grooming kit. A $60 value for just $14.99.
If you don't agree it's the best value in shaving, just return it and get your money back. Here's how to order.
To order your Titanium Turbo, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-604-9292. That's 1-800-604-9292. Or send a check or money order to the address listed. So don't delay. Order your Titanium Turbo by calling 1-800-604-9292. That's 1-800-604-9292. Call now.
Bob, where are you?
Boise?
Boise? Where's my proposal?
I just sent it to BizHub.
BizHub? BizHub's in Boise?
BizHub is next to your office.
Near the fax machine?
BizHub is a fax machine.
Fax are needed in color.
I printed it in color.
But you're in Boise, Bob.
I'm printing to BizHub from Boise.
You've got a BizHub.
We all have a BizHub.
Surprising versatility and amazing affordable color. That's BizHub from Konica Minolta.
I got a BizHub?
Welcome back to Speed Channel. The Pista Olympia de Bob, Eugenio Monti. They named it after him. What Pele is to soccer, what Babe Ruth was to baseball, this guy was to bobsledding. Legendary Olympic gold medalist. Passed away last year. They named the track after him.
Today's event brought to you by Konica Minolta, home of the Biz Hub. Let's take a look at the overall World Cup standings in two-man bob. Martin Annan and Andre Lange tied for the lead with Pierre knocking on the door. American Todd Hayes in 7th position. Remember, this is the third race, or we've already completed 3 races this season. This is the 4th, and there's still a long way to go. A lot of races left for these guys to move up in the standings. 34 sleds in this competition representing 18 different countries, the United States and Canada, of course, and several European nations. There's a heavy European influence in the sport of bobsled.
The sleds in the sport, you can see the maximum weight there, 2.2 times that is the kilogram representation of the U.S. team. They drive Bodine sleds. These are sleds made by Jeff Bodine. Really successful program the USA have going, and they also have a pit crew, just like in NASCAR, that takes care of these sleds.
Hi everybody, this is Jeffrey Bodine. In NASCAR, we need a pit crew. They gas us up, they change their tires, they keep our car running around the racetrack. In bobsledding, we need a pit crew too. They keep that bobsled tuned up so it goes down a run real fast. In the Bodine Bobsled Project, our main pit crew member is Frank Bruglia. He keeps those bobsleds tuned up the best possible.
Yeah, NASCAR, you know, they have their pit crew. With us, we have a pit crew also, but it's me. I'm the pit crew, I'm the pit chief, and I basically make a lot of calls as far as setup on the sleds. I have to take the blame if we pick the wrong runners, because naturally that's my choice. But I have to set up everything. But I do get help from the athletes because I need it at times, because I can't flip the sled by myself because they're too heavy. But I am the pit crew, so all the blame falls on me, I guess, most of the time.
Well, the difference is that we don't have tire changes during the race in bobsled. There's once the race starts, the crew doesn't have as much to do. But in the garage, it's the same thing. Races are won in the garage. Preparation is incredible. These sleds take a beating. In a normal race, there's damage just from the G-forces and the vibration and the pounding of the ice. So that the crew is working really, really hard all week to maintain the sleds and install the setups for the next track.
I guess what drives me basically in the sport is just that I can't be an athlete myself. So this, to me, it's you got to have a love for the sport, because there's not a lot of anything else in it other than just love and going downhill.
You know, Frank's like our crew chief. You know, when the sleds aren't running and the drivers aren't doing well, they got somebody to blame. You know, it's never the driver's fault. So you know, he takes a lot of weight on his shoulders. But you know, if Frank, you know, from week to week, if there's problems, if we have a crash, which we've had, you know, number of them so far this year, he can rebuild a sled almost overnight, and you know, that's good for us. You know, that we can continue to look forward to the race and not worry about if we're going to have equipment for the race. And you know, he's been there time and time again and bailed us out of a lot of trouble with the equipment. But you know, without Frank, it'd be tough to go from week to week and stay on top with our equipment the way it is.
Downhill, I do it basically for the athletes. My enjoyment is seeing them on the podium. So I'd do anything I can to put them there.
Plenty more still ahead on speed when we return to Cortina in a moment.
It's the allure. It's the thrill. But most of all, it's the cars. 1,000 of the best rolling sculptures, all in one place and all for sale. The Barrett-Jackson auction on speed. Featuring the all-new Barrett-Jackson Interactive at speedtv.com. Gavel to gavel, it's the world's greatest classic car auction. Barrett-Jackson, the bidding continues tomorrow live, 2 Eastern on Speed.
The DR Field and Brush Mower delivers. Up to 17 horsepower. The DR Field and Brush Mower delivers to take down small trees, a jungle of brush, and any weeds you can throw at it. The DR Field and Brush Mower delivers. Available factory direct at the lowest prices of the year until fall. Get yours now and make no payments for 6 months.
Call now, 1-800-816-3366 for your free DR Field and Brush Mower catalog, video, and 6-month risk-free trial. Plus, make no payments for 6 months. There's no obligation, so call today, 1-800-816-3366. Online at drfieldbrush.com.
DR is professional power for homeowners.
Welcome back to Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. Here is your start list for run number 2. It goes in reverse order of the results of heat number 1. So the top sled, Pierre and Lascelles Brown, will be the last sled down. If they still have the best time when they make it to the bottom of the track, they're the winners. Pretty simple.
Yeah, they made some rule changes in that. They used to go 15 to 1, 16 to the end. Now it's 20th place to first. And that was a real good rule change. And this is the first sled we're going to see. A guy who probably is one of the best drivers here, but he's in the limelight of his career and doesn't really get a good start.
Bruno Méjean is the driver of France 1. Alexander Van Oot is his brakeman.
Big French crowd on hand. There's a reason for this. He won the World Championships here in 1999 in 4-man bobsled. And he blew the field away. And he just followed up his Olympic bronze medal in the 98 games in Nagano with that gold medal World Championship performance. And the French fans have never forgot. They've always come back to Cortina.
At 37 years old, John, he isn't even one of the oldest guys out here. I mean, he's getting up there, but this is not a sport for teenagers out here.
No, and it's a rough sport on a 35, 40-year-old guy. You got to come out here, and this is probably his 100th plus trip of the year. He's been training for 3 months, hamstrings and groins and calves, and you catch flus. I mean, it's tough being out on this circuit for 3-4 months like these athletes are. That's why I always say decathletes who have to put up with so much with 10 track events in the course of a track competition, decathletes are great athletes to bring into the sport of bobsled because of the long season. But check out some of these pictures. I mean, listen to the sounds. We've already seen women's bobsledding in Cortina on speed, which is a fantastic race. And this is the first guy down we're going to see here today. Lochner, we didn't see him. He was down earlier. But Bruno Méjean, by a half a second, has taken the lead. No start time, but the speed he has in the bottom part of the track, it's going to be tough for anybody else to match.
Quite a warm welcome at the finish for Méjean and Van Oot. 1:49.44 is the combined time, the total time for both their runs, and that puts them in first place at this point in the competition.
He'll be over there drinking a little wine and having some cheese in the next 20 minutes with that crowd.
Back to the top now for USA 3. Steve Holcomb of Park City, Utah is your driver, joined in the sled by Brock Kreitzberg of Akron, Ohio. Holcomb says that this Cortina track is unlike any he's seen in the world.
It's different than any track in the world. It's a little more difficult. It's a little more rough, but it's one of the older tracks. I think it's one of the oldest tracks on tour. But it's a fun track in general. I mean, it's a challenge, and I like a challenge, and it's fun. So I have a good time. I had a good first run, so hopefully have a good one second run and a quality race. So be good.
There's a lot of exposed concrete on this track, John. Not all of the curves are completely iced over, and Holcomb says when you scrape the walls here in Cortina, you can smell the fiberglass burning off of the sled.
Yeah, almost all tracks have the iced walls. Cortina, they don't. They've got cement walls. There's our leader. Remember, if you watch the Innsbruck four-man program, Holcomb posted a 4th place finish in the four-man competition in his Bodine sled. Holcomb, that was his best performance ever. He's been on the circuit now for 3 years. Young pilot, got a great future. His thing in two-man bobsled, he doesn't get the start that his teammate Todd Hayes gets. And when you don't get the start, then you have to be perfect all the way down the track.
Holcomb's a part of the U.S. Army Athletes Program. He's a specialist in the U.S. Army, and his role in the armed services is to be a bobsled athlete.
Well, the military program in Germany, every single athlete here from Germany is in the part of the military program. So the USA's smart, trying to mirror the successful German program by bringing in basically professional athletes, because the only way you can really compete. There's our in-sync reverse and front angle. Get in, and Holcomb's going to have a challenge because Manjon just came right down the middle of the track. Now, he's got a 1700s lead. And we're going to start talking about the speeds on the left. Manjon, he's got a 1/10 of a kilometer there. There's a skid up before Belvedere Bandillon that leads down to 10. Watch the violent exit here. This is a different track than you usually see on the Bob Tour. This is what the sport used to run on, much like Martinsville, Darlington, NASCAR, Monte Carlo, and Formula One, and he's got some problems there on the exit of Cristallo. This doesn't look like a smooth run. Manjon is our leader, and he'll stay our leader. Frank Brigley on the left, Tuffy Latour on the right, coaches look on, but
Holcomb, a very young driver. Basically every time out is a learning experience for him. 1:49.66 is the combined time for USA 3. That puts them in second position, and this looks like Holcomb's very happy.
No, he didn't like it at all. This is where his real problem started. Exit of Cristallo, slingshot effect on the bottom. You want to keep it going straight. The Bodine sled in a big skid. There was a couple tenths right there. That's what cost him. And you see the speed. He had a 1/2 kilometer slower than Manjon.
Still a lot more to come as World Cup bobsled continues on speed.
This February, Speed Channel ignites with NASCAR. A 10-day marathon leading up to the biggest race of the year. The wait is over. February 11th through the 19th, exclusively on Speed.
How fast is your car? Really? G-Tech Pro will tell you. It measures your 0 to 60 time, quarter-mile time, handling Gs, and yes, horsepower and torque. Plus, it has sequential shift lights. It's accurate, easy to use, and there's no installation. Just plug it in and go. Become a better driver and have some fun, guaranteed, or your money back. It's only $199.95, and it makes a great gift. Call the 24-hour hotline right now at 800-G-Tech Pro. That's 1-800-483-2477.
10 years rockin'. 10 years rough. 10 years tough. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
It's going to be a drag race.
A decade of hard-nosed beating and banging, kicking off another season at the granddaddy of them all, the Florida Dodge Dealers 250 at Daytona International Speedway. Coming February 18th, only on Speed.
Hey, I need that chart.
Emailing it now.
You're emailing from the copy machine?
No, I'm emailing from BizHub.
BizHub? Wait, did you make my copies yet?
Right after I scan this.
You're scanning at an email machine?
Email machine. I'm at the BizHub machine.
Copying.
Emailing, then scanning, then copying.
BizHub?
Surprising versatility and amazing affordable color. That's BizHub from Konica Minolta.
Welcome back to Cortina. Next up, Russia 2. 27-year-old Yevgeny Popov is the driver, and Alexei Adrinin from Moscow is on the brakes. Popov's a two-time Olympian who finished 8th at the 2002 games in Salt Lake City, but his results this year, John, have been erratic. He was 6th in Altenburg, but 21st in each of the other 2 races. He's kind of split the difference today. He's 15th coming into the second heat.
He was the Russia #1 pilot to Altenburg 2002. He had a bad accident there, and I don't think he's ever recovered from that. Bad concussion. They had to send him home. He missed the rest of the season. And the other Russian, Zubkov, is one of the leaders of the World Cup circuit. Won the gold medal last week in 4-man bobsled, and his bypassed Popov by a lot. They're both Russian military guys, just like the Americans and the Germans.
Sometimes mentally and physically, it does take a long time to get back from an injury or get back from a crash.
Well, they talk about falling off a horse, getting back on it. He didn't get back on that horse right away. He had to wait a long time before he got back on that horse, and he has not been himself since December of 2002. Compared to the results he was getting then to what he's been doing in this season.
The times you're seeing on the bottom right, that of Latvia 2, the driver there, Jānis Midins, he is already at the bottom in the lead, and he may keep the lead with more skids like that from Popov.
Yeah, -4. Last clock, +4. He lost 800ths. So Midis stays our leader. We didn't see Midis come down the track, but Popov, someplace down below, too much steering, because he had a pretty good lead on Midis.
There are a lot of places to lose time on this track.
Look at the shot out of Cristallo. Slingshot effect. You can fly here over this hump, or you can go sideways, and that's a little bit of both. Doesn't have the speed. Midis had the best speed, a kilometer better. And I didn't catch what he just said there, but I'm sure somebody that speaks Russian did.
He seemed okay. He seemed pretty happy. Fabrizio Tosini is the driver of Italy 2. He's joined in the sled by Samuel Romanini. Tosini's been on the Italian national team for 14 years. He didn't race in Cortina last season, but did in the '99 Worlds and finished 9th.
He had a bad accident in Altenburg 2 weeks ago, and listen to the screaming behind him, his coach.
Of course, Italy is the host country for the 2006 Winter Olympics, Torino, and that track is going to be on display at the next World Cup event of the season.
And his start time is what puts him in trouble, and he's dead heat right now with sled at the bottom, and you know, you expect him to do better than he's been doing. And his countryman, Bertazzo, we're going to see him coming up, has flown by him. And of course, he had an accident a couple weeks ago here in Altenburg. He was really bummed out because one of his teammates went to the hospital and is still nursing a serious back injury. And he felt really bad about that. He's got 900ths lead right here.
This could be the biggest heat of the year for Tosini in Italy 2. 1:49.10, the time to beat. And by 800ths of a second, Tosini has taken the lead, overtaking the Latvian sled, and there's still plenty more to come here on speed, but a great race in front of the home fans for Italy 2 and Fabrizio Tosini. We'll be back to Cortina in a moment.
We're Novice Bike Builder. Here's the deal. In the Ultimate Challenge. Do a great job, your bike. Build a custom iron horse in 30 days. Build or bust.
I shouldn't have to explain this.
Premieres February 23rd on Speed.
An important message to all Americans who take at least 2 prescriptions a day. A free 30-day pharmaceutical discount card trial is now enrolling a limited number of participants in your state. If you take 2 or more prescriptions a day, you can qualify for this free trial program that could provide you with the lowest price for your prescriptions. Only qualified state residents who call will be allowed into this program. If interested, you must call this number now. Once qualified, you will be issued a discount card to access prescription savings at over 52,000 pharmacies nationwide. Then after the trial period, only those who participate will be granted the opportunity to continue saving with this discount program for a monthly fee of just $5.95 per household. Important, only state residents who qualify will be accepted. Call today.
Call 1-800-218-4433. 1-800-218-4433. That's 1-800-218-4433. Call now.
back to the top now for Switzerland 2. The driver Ivo Rug, the brakeman Christian Abley. Ivo Rug is a guy who's dominated on the Europa Cup for a long time, John. He's the two-time overall champion of that series. That's basically the minor leagues for the World Cup circuit. There's the America's Cup circuit where the North American sliders compete, and in Europe it's the Europa Cup. That's where he comes from.
Well, Switzerland's got 15 deep teams, and he didn't qualify initially to come out, but he's here. He's had some good results in the Europa Cup or on this World Cup circuit. And you can hear those bells. Every time you see one of these yellow and black sleds, you're going to hear a bunch of bells. There's a lot of Swiss fans in attendance. You can see our standings. The Rugs, there's 4 or 5 Rugs running around the track. And there's a couple cousins, a couple brothers. I used to race against their fathers, Max and Tony. Max is here in attendance today. And they've had some good results, not consistent results. And he's not doing well here. He's somehow lost a lot of time. 2,300, 6th best time so far in the heat. He's going to drop a number of places if he's not perfect down here. And he's holding it. He's still 25 down. But looks like Tosini's going to move up at least one more. And he does. Rug drops the 7th best time of the heat. He's 6th best overall. That's the inconsistency we talked about with Ivo Rug, and he knows it.
As you said, John, it is all about speed. This is one of those tracks where the banging and the bumping and the skidding doesn't necessarily mean you're having a bad run. It's just all about how fast you're getting down. Next week, we're going to bring you the 4-man competition, and Pierre Luders of Canada certainly hopes he doesn't have a repeat of this performance. There's a good example of the danger that lurks around every corner of this Cortina track.
Look at the violent hit there. That's what this track can do to you. 4-man Bob, you're going to want to watch that next Saturday on Speed at 12 o'clock.
The Swiss flags are out, but back at the top, it's an Italian sled. This is Italy 1, driven by Simone Bertazzo. He's just 22 years old in his first full season on the circuit, joined in the sled by Giorgio Morbidelli.
Bertazzo, I used to compete against his father. I remember him at the World Championships in '78 in Lake Placid. He's here today and very proud of his son. His son has really come on this year. He's the first time on the World Cup circuit, and he's been basically almost in that top 10 almost every event. He's been really impressive. Young 22-year-old. I would say the Italian hopes are on this kid right here. 1700s lead, that's a good sign. Big speed on the left, 99 kilometers, that's 62 miles an hour. Look at that, straight into Antelo Cristallo, 109 kilometers. No one else has been up there except for Mejean. 1300s, he's increasing his lead. This is Italian versus Italian, and the youngster is going to come away, looks like, with the lead, and he does.
Best run of the competition so far, of the second heat anyway, 54.24, gives him a combined time of 1:48.93, and Italy 1 moves into the lead.
I think they're excited.
Yes, in any language, Sean, that is excitement.
Reason to be excited, Simone Bertazzo. Very impressive 22-year-old for the Italians. And the coaching staff on the left, Sanders Prusis, Antonio Tartaglia, the gold medalist for Italy on the right, and they're impressed with their young pilot.
This February, Unique Whips. Get inside the East Coast premier custom car shop.
This car is for show-off purposes only.
It's not your everyday shop.
You should hire somebody else to do the dashboard.
Unique Whips premieres February 23rd exclusively on Speed.
Fuel your passion. 24/7. Speed.
Do you push the snooze alarm in the morning? Do you drink more than one caffeine drink during the day? Do you feel like you need a nap in the daytime? Maybe the reason you feel so tired in the morning is because you're tossing and turning on an old-fashioned spring mattress at night. You deserve a good night's sleep, and that's just what you'll get with a Tempur-Pedic Swedish sleep system, the only mattress using the gravity-defying Tempur material originally developed by NASA and certified by the Space Foundation.
It's like you're sleeping on a cloud.
Before I had trouble sleeping through the night, and now I don't have any problems at all.
Instead of uncomfortable metal springs, the Tempur-Pedic mattress uses billions of viscoelastic memory cells. This soft yet supportive material adjusts to every curve of your body, providing a weightless light sleep surface you have to feel to believe.
It really is magic.
It's like a gel that takes your body shape.
Oh, it's really comfortable. I could fall asleep right now.
And wake me up in about 10 minutes.
And because Tempur-Pedic doesn't transfer motion, you'll never disturb your partner. Look how the glass doesn't tip over as Kelly moves about. Amazing, and not even a drop has spilled. Don't try that with a metal spring mattress. I can get in and out of bed without him waking him up or without disturbing him at all. So call now and we'll rush you this free information kit that includes a video explaining all about the features of the Tempur-Pedic Swedish sleep system and a free sample of the amazing Tempur material. It will also tell you about the 20-year limited warranty and how you can try a Tempur-Pedic bed in your own bedroom free for an unheard of 4 full months. So call Tempur-Pedic now and see why Consumer Digest gave Tempur-Pedic its coveted Best Buy rating.
So call 1-800-769-8819 now for the good night's sleep you deserve. That's 1-800-769-8819.
The average American household has nearly $8,000 in credit card debt. If you make only the minimum payments and have high interest rates, it could take you 47 years to pay them off. That's a scary thought. You can stop living in fear and get help. Call In Charge Debt Solutions. In Charge is a nonprofit credit counseling service. Our trained and certified counselors can discuss your options to get you out of debt and put you back in charge of your life. We work with creditors nationwide to reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments, helping you pay off your debt faster and more affordably than you could on your own. In Charge can stop the collection calls and design a solution that's right for you. Stop living in fear. Call today to get back in charge of your life.
Welcome back to Cortina. Chris Kelly and John Morgan bringing you two-man bobsled from Cortina. It's all right here on Speed Channel. This is Austria 1. Wolfgang Stompfer is driving the brakeman Jürgen Meyer. Stompfer's 32 years old. He's from Innsbruck, Austria, which is only about 2 hours from here.
One of the bigger pilots in the competition. He's about 6'3", about 225 pounds. The only guy is his size is Todd Hayes of the United States. Hayes played football at the University of Tulsa. Stompfer, he's played football too, but that round type.
He's about 40 pounds heavier than the guy in the back of the sled, and that's not very common in this sport.
No, you want to have two big guys pushing a lighter sled. It's a maximum weight. It's a Mother Nature gravity sport. And the heavier you are, the lighter the sled. But the same thing, you got to be big, but you got to also be fast so you can push that light sled. Stompfer, a good driver, better results in four-man. Oh, he's a quarter second down to the Italian. He's going to have to be perfect. Exeter Cristallo. Over this hump. Beautiful. Down to 17. He might be running out of track. This is going to be close. Stompfer's known for coming from behind, but he runs out of 100, needed another 100 meters than that at least. Good comeback by Stompfer on the bottom, but Italia moves up at least one more.
Simone Bertazzo hangs on to the lead, and Stompfer is guaranteed another top 10 finish, his fourth in 4 races this season, but he couldn't overtake Italy 1. Here is Germany 2. René Spies is the driver. He's from Winterberg, and Franz Sagmeister is the brakeman. They call this guy the Beast, and because he's 6'3", 242 pounds, it's pretty easy to understand why.
And the guy is quick. Track and field, hammer, discus thrower. These guys had a bad accident in four-man bobsledding on Wednesday. They were both walking around with collars, and no one thought either one of them would even compete. They're saying they won't compete in the four-man, and they say Sagameister is black and blue down the whole right side of his body.
And Spies has come back from wrecks in the past.
Spies took last year off with a bad back, so I'm sure he's walking very tentatively. Has not been the Rennie Spies we've known in the past. He's won World Cups just 2 years ago. He's only got 1 medal so far this year. In fact, on his home track, he didn't even finish in the top 10. Shocked everybody. And he better watch out here because he's seriously behind Bertazzo. He's got it down to 1900s. He's got big speed on the left. He's going to need a perfect exit here to have a chance. Down to 14. He's going to be just like Stompfer. He might run out of track. It's going to be close.
1:48.93. You see there the time to beat posted by Italy 1 800ths of a second behind now. Germany 3, and Bertazzo remains in that winner's box.
Bertazzo is guaranteed his best finish ever right now. Spies can only reflect on the bad week he's had in Cortina. There's the speeds, not bad on the bottom. He ran out of track. He would have been our leader if he had another 100 meters.
Still plenty more sliding still to come on speed. Coming up, we'll see the top American sled. Todd Hayes and Bill Schuffenhauer going to try and get their Bodine sled down this track as quickly as possible. It's all coming up next on Speed Channel.
Hold on for the greatest thrill ride in sports. The Daytona 500 returns to Fox. Broadcast in HD, February 20th, only on Fox.
Konica Minolta presents the 2005 World Bobsled and Skeleton Championships in Calgary, Alberta, February 14th to 27th, 2005. Come and see 2-man bobsled, 4-man bobsled, men's and women's skeleton, and women's bobsled. All 5 disciplines on the same track at the site of the 1988 Winter Olympic Games in Calgary, Alberta. Make your plans now. This event brought to you by Konica Minolta.
Women's bobsled yesterday, John, and they had a big air competition.
These sleds aren't supposed to be airborne. Look at the height each one of these gets. And the best competitor of the 6 we're showing you here, look at the Dutch, how high they get, but it's Kathleen Martini. She got 5th. One of the reasons is because of that mistake right there when she got some big air.
All 4 runners off the ice there. This is Latvia 1, driven by Gatis Guts. He's a police officer in his off time. Intars Digmanis is the brakeman. He's from Sigulda. That's the town that actually has the only track in the country of Latvia.
Well, it used to be a Soviet Union track, and then the wall came down, and the Latvians kept it. And Latvia, the bobsledders, they're heroes up there. It's their biggest winter sport. And Gatis Guts, he has not done what everybody expected him to do 3-4 years ago. Oh, he got in one step. He's got that leg wrapped up. Oh, there's an example of hamstrings and groins. He's got no chance. No chance. Look at the leg. One leg. 2 steps and in, he's probably saving himself for 4-man, but that is not good. That's what happens to you out here. Hamstrings, groins. Oh, and of course, then you got your rib cage muscles, I mean, your back problems. This is not a sport for somebody not fit.
If he wasn't 100% healthy, John, why would he even stay in the competition?
Well, World Cup points. He's got to stay in the top seed. He's just sliding for World Cup points now. He could do no worse than 20th place because it's the top 20 in the second run that go, and 20th place is what he'll get no matter what, and that's points. He's in the second seed, and he doesn't want to drop to the 3rd seed. The seeds are first 10, second 10, and the third 10, so he'll maintain his World Cup seeding, which is probably like 13th or 14th, even though he probably finished 18th, 19th, or 20th here, and I'm sure not a happy guy. But this is more than just being a thrill seeker. You got to be a great athlete in this sport, and there's an example.
If you're not 100% healthy, then it's really hard to compete at the highest level.
Look at this here. This sled's way up higher than it should be. It's almost runners off the ice. He's 6-8 inches higher than he should have been there.
Certainly getting some appreciation from the fans at the bottom as they make sure they know how much they appreciate the effort he put in today. Here's the top American sled, Todd Hayes of Del Rio, Texas, Bill Schuffenhauer of Salt Lake City, and they say this is one difficult racetrack.
It's really difficult to compare to any track. It's much older. Corners or profiles are totally different. It's obviously not my kind of track. You've got to steer much harder, you know, in different places. You've got to drive the hell out of the sled and try to get it to go where you want to, and then, you know, you don't know if you're over driving or not, and you know, you can't feel the speed here. It's just all pressure and bumps, and you know, it's certainly not my track.
John, can you possibly go into a race with a bad attitude about a track and hope to succeed?
Well, he has not had a lot of success on this track in the past. Bodine sled, very sensitive piece of equipment, and probably responds better to smoother ice. But it's a day where he's got to do it, and he's got 300s lead at the moment. And if he keeps the Bodine sled straight, he might have a chance to leave himself in the top 6. And it's +1, 97 kilometers. Everybody else has got 99. Now he's going to need some big speed here into Antelo Cristallo, 108, 109 we've seen. A lot of pressure. This is where he talks about pressure. G-forces. Little big skid there, up to +11, not a good sign. Look at the Italian. Bertazzo is going to move up and beat Todd Hayes. What a performance by Italy. And they can't believe it. Look at those two guys. And Frank Briglia looks on, Tuffy Latour. And you can tell Todd Hayes doesn't like to compete on this track, especially in the two-man, Bob. He dropped 4 places.
5th overall, and that was just the 8th fastest time of this second heat. This is the first time that Hayes and Schuffenhauer have teamed up in the two-man competition this season. Hayes says that he wants to use different brakemen over the course of the season, make sure that everybody's healthy.
Boy, what a skid he had there. Look at the speed. He's almost 2 kilometers down to Spies. The Bodine sled just didn't go. Todd Hayes walks away, a little disgusted.
Back to the top now. This is Germany 3. Matthias Hoffner is the driver. He's 29 years old. Ronnie Lister, the brakeman, is 28. This is the first time they've slid together this year.
Hoffner is more of a 4-man guy. He didn't compete in Innsbruck last week. They brought a young kid in. There's a young kid right there, 22 years old. He's our leader, and what a great day for him. He's guaranteed his best World Cup finish ever on his home track.
Hoffner's a guy who had great success in juniors. He medaled 4 years in a row at the Junior Worlds. When you say juniors in most sports, John, you're talking about teenagers, but in the sport of bobsled, we've been saying it time and time again, the guys in their 30s are the best ones out here most of the time. So when you're in your early 20s in bobsled, mid-20s, you're competing on the junior level.
Yeah, and Hoffner's had a tough time breaking above Spies, above Andre Lange. Christoph Lange is retired, so he's got a chance now. He is Germany number 2. Better 4-man than he is a 2-man, but the guy knows how to drive, gives up time at the start. Another one of these German military athletes. He's got a little skid there. He's 2400s down. Big speed, though, 99.7. Hayes at 97 there. Anything in the 109 category will be positive he doesn't have it. He's got it down to 26. Gonna need to be absolutely perfect here to have a chance. Down to 27. I can't believe Bertazzo might beat another quality driver. And he does.
Bertazzo was 11th coming into the second heat, and now with only 4 sleds to go, he still has the lead.
He can finish no worse than 5th. I think there's a lot of people shaking their heads down at the bottom of this track today.
John, the sun is coming out. Could it be possibly causing problems for these drivers?
I believe there is a problem with the sunshine. They have shades out in different places. We're running here at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, which is late on this track, and the people coming down early got more of an advantage. Hoffner had no speed, which is why the Italian beat him on the bottom.
Only 4 sleds remaining, the Russians, the Germans, and the Swiss, all chasing Canada 1. Pierre Luters and Lascelles Brown, the top time in heat number 1. Can they hang on to their lead? Stay tuned to Speed Channel and find out.
Muscle cars, the cars everyone dreams about. Now Speed presents 13 brand new episodes of American Muscle Car. Check out cars like the Shelby Cobra, Chevy Impala, and Mustang GT. All new American Muscle Car, premiering February 24th at 8 p.m. only on Speed.
The The best damn sports show, period. Television's greatest late-night sports show has raised the bar again. Join Tom Arnold and John Sally as they cut loose with the biggest stars in sports and entertainment.
Oh my God.
It's late-night television reinvented.
Yes. Stick around.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
Bored with the big game's halftime show? Tune into pay-per-view's Girls of Lingerie Bowl Halftime Challenge, featuring models playing football in lingerie. Get access inside the locker room and sexy photo shoots. Don't miss a steamy moment of this display of skill and skin. Halftime has never been this sexy.
Premiering Sunday, February 6th, 7 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV pay-per-view on DirecTV.
Hits another awkward jumper. The other end, the Nuggets get out and run, and Nene makes a drive and slams it. Our feet are in the sand tonight. We're getting beat down the floor. Leonard has...
With up to 40 NBA games a week, news, stats, and highlights, NBA League Pass from DirecTV is heaven. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS today.
Welcome back to Cortina. This is Russia 1. Alexander Zubkov is the driver. Dmitry Stapuchkin on the brakes. Zubkov's two-man results were so-so before this year. He finished 15th in the Cortina event last season, but this year, a bronze in Winterberg, a bronze in Eagles. This is one of the up-and-coming programs in the world.
Gold in four-man last week in Innsbruck, 2 silvers the 2 weeks before that. Brand new Singer sleds, 6 brand new Singer sleds. Singer is an auto-related manufacturer out of Bavaria. A little bit in Austria he lives, and these guys have been building out some sleds, and they've been very successful for the Russian program this year. Start time, though, the Russians, military athletes, get great starts. And they've got a gold and 2 silvers in the four-man. They have 2 medals in the two-man. And no one expected the Russian program to be as successful as they have been so far this season.
The time posted by Italy 1:21.98 is the time that Russia 1 is trying to beat. Bertazzo's been in the winner's box for quite a while. We'll have to see if Russia 1 can finally knock him off the top of the mountain.
1100s lead, doesn't have the 109 kilometers Bertazzo had. Gonna need to be perfect down here in the bottom, or this could be another victim to Bertazzo and the Italians. This is gonna be close. 300ths of a second. He's now within 1 place of winning a medal, and the way that things are going, he's got a great chance for this. Every sled that comes down, everybody's not happy.
This sport is far from predictable, John, but it's very rare to see a sled go from 11th to 4th position this quickly.
Living in the winner's box. What happened here, though? His run looked perfect. There, speed will tell you all right there, too. Not bad speed. Of course, he lost by 300ths. That's like 3 fingernails. So that's like from your knuckle down. He lost in 2 miles distance.
This is Germany 1, and this is a pretty good duo in the sled here. Andre Lange, the gold medalist at the 2003 World Championships, joined by Marcus Zimmerman, a 40-year-old legend in this sport.
He's got about 7 or 8 World Championship titles as a brakeman. He's got 4 or 5 Olympic medals as a brakeman. They brought him off the bench. He's still the best German brakeman, but he's from West Germany. He won a bronze medal way back in the '92 games with Rudi Lochner, a Bavarian. This is the first time he's ever slid with Andre Lange. And Lange lost his best brakeman, Kevin Kuska, to an ab injury, had a surgery, season-ending surgery, so they had to bring somebody big out to get on the back of the sled because Lange needs a big pusher for a lighter sled. And he's got a huge lead on the Italian at the bottom. Doesn't have that 100-kilometer speed. That 3,400s is a lot of time, but we've seen a lot of time get wasted on this track in Cortina d'Ampezzo. Exit here. Perfect. Look at this sled come straight at us. 4,500's lead. This will be our leader. Goodbye to Simone Bertazzo. What a great day for him. Now the question is, how many spots will Lange move up? That was the best run we've seen in the last 7 or 8 sleds.
Lange is still one of the best in the world. In the two-man, he's now guaranteed himself a medal in the 3rd of 4 races this season.
He won the first two-man event in Winterberg. There's Bertazzo, gives him a nice handshake. Look at this sled come at us. Look at the runner tips. Look at the eyeballs. There's no spray coming off their runners. This is why he's one of the best in the world.
This guy is cool as a cucumber, and you've said it before, John, sometimes not steering at all is the best method, and he's very good at just letting the sled do its work. Back to the top now, Switzerland won. Martin Annan is the driver, Cedric Grand, the brakeman. They've had a fantastic season in two-man competition. A silver in Winterberg and a gold in Eagles last weekend.
Yeah, last week, he had not had a gold medal in a while, and he came out, him and Beat Hefty had the best start time, the best finish times. He's pretty tough on them short 1,200-meter tracks. Very good results in two-man. He's not doing so much in four-man, but this guy, Martin Annan, and look at the crowd. Listen to the bells. He's got a Hilti sled. That's a Hans Hildebrand, the sled of choice in the 90s, this Swiss coach who built sleds and sold them out to everybody. There's a new Swiss kid on the block called Christian Reich who built sleds and selling them for everybody. Reich had the silver medal in the 2002 games. Annan had the bronze medal. Annan continued. Reich retired. He now coaches Monaco and sells sleds. And we have the leader on the left. Let's compare who gets in first here. The 40-year-old Zimmerman was in first compared to Cedric Grand. 20/100ths lead is a lot of time, but he's going to lose a lot banging around on those cement walls on the top of the track here in Cortina. Perfect there. That lead went from 20 down to 15. Doesn't have the kilometers that Lange had. And Lange was perfect on the bottom. Lead still at 15. That means he stopped the bleeding. 109.7 kilometers. That's as good as anybody. And Annan is flying. It's down to 12. This is going to be another close one. This is for at least a silver medal. Oh, 600ths. Lange looked a little frustrated. Annan, second best time in the heat to Lange, and he guarantees himself at least a silver medal. What a great season Martin Annan has had so far.
His occupation, John, is listed as cheesemaker, and he's basically been making Swiss cheese out of the rest of the competition on the World Cup circuit.
In two-man bobsled, four-man he struggles. Look at the exit here. Look at the runner tips. We talk about Lange. Look at the eyeballs. Look at the sled. Look at the energy come forward. No spray coming off the runners. He banged a little bit there, but that high speed, that won't cost him. He's our leader, guaranteed at least a silver medal.
Only one sled remaining, Pierre Luters of Canada, who loves this track in Cortina.
The first few times I've been here, and actually through various times in my career, I haven't had the best of luck here. Made some pretty silly mistakes over the years. The four-man that they always show is a good example, but this is the kind of track where you really need to work, and you know, any little mental mistake that you make, it'll cost you. And for me especially, I need to be extra focused. Especially now, after the first heat, we're doing relatively well. I was sitting in first, so that's the most dangerous time for me, especially here in Cortina. I really need to hunker down and get ready for the next heat.
The 34-year-old Luters joined in the sled by Lascelles Brown, a Jamaican with Canadian citizenship who just jumped into Luters' sled recently.
Great start time, 4:92. And Luters gets good starts. He's got all of the ingredients. He's a good driver. He's got good equipment. He's got great experience. And when he's got that start time, that's the trump card that separates him from everybody else. He's already got one victory on the World Cup Tour so far this season. He's got a silver medal in Innsbruck last week. He had one disappointing finish at the first event in Winterberg, but since then, he's been very consistent, and he's flying here. Wow, perfect. 109+ speed there. And the sled is coming straight at us. Pierre Luters has done it again. And Annan knows it. Look at that. He pulled away from the field. Gert groomer, his coach. Wow.
53.80, the best time of the second heat. It's pretty easy math, John, when you have the fastest time in Heat 1 and the fastest time in Heat 2. You win the race.
On a deteriorating track, the last man down, Lueders ran away from everybody. You got to be impressed. Lueders is at the top of his game.
The list of Lueders' accomplishments is endless, but this is a big day for Lascelles Brown. This is his first gold medal in World Cup competition. As we said, he just jumped into Lueders' sled recently when there were some problems on the Canadian team. His former brakeman, Giulio Zardo, suspended from the team. Lascelles Brown steps in, and they've medaled in consecutive events together.
The gold medal, though, this is a big deal. The rest of the field doesn't like what Pierre Lueders is accomplishing so early in the season. And remember, the World Championships are in Calgary in February.
It's the allure. It's the thrill. But most of all, it's the cars. 1,000 of the best rolling sculptures, all in one place and all for sale. The Barrett-Jackson auction on Speed. Featuring the all-new Barrett-Jackson Interactive at speedtv.com. Gavel to gavel, it's the world's greatest classic car auction. Barrett-Jackson, the bidding continues tomorrow, live, 2 Eastern on Speed.
You know what happened while you were in the store? Your brand new car just got bombarded with dents. It seems like the world is out to ruin your car. Now you can pop those dents with Popsident from Simonize, the fast, easy way to make those dents disappear. Just press the special adhesive disc onto the dent, lower the pulling rod onto the disc, turn the handle, and Popsident. Call right now and get the amazing Simonize Popsident system with everything you need to fix dozens of dents, just $19.95. Call in the next 15 minutes and we'll send you Popsident Scratch Remover. The exclusive matching formulation blends in with your car's natural color and makes those ugly scratches disappear. We'll also send you a glue gun and glue sticks. A total $40 value, yours free with every Popsident system.
Call 1-800-299-3399 to order the Simonize Popsident for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. That number again is 1-800-299-3399.
Bob, where are you?
Boise.
Boise? Where's my proposal?
I just sent it to BizHub.
BizHub? BizHub's in Boise?
BizHub is next to your office.
Near the fax machine?
BizHub is a fax machine.
Fax are needed in color.
I printed it in color.
But you're in Boise, Bob.
I'm printing to BizHub from Boise.
You've got a BizHub.
We all have a BizHub.
Surprising versatility and amazing affordable color. That's BizHub from Konica Minolta.
I got a BizHub?
Today's program from Cortina brought to you by Konica Minolta, home of the BizHub. Here's our World Cup standings. Martin Annan still atop the leaderboard. Pierre Lueders is getting closer. Todd Hayes in the United States, he's back in 7th place in the Bodine sled. Look at Simone Bertazzo, he's in 8th place in World Cup standings. Chris Kelly's got the interview of the gold medalist of today.
Here in Cortina, the gold medalist today, Pierre Lueders, Lascelles Brown. Congratulations, guys. Pierre, you've had a lot of success at this track. Safe to say you like it a lot here?
Well, I've had my ups and downs here, that's for sure, just looking at some of the footage from foreman. But it's a great result today, and it's Lascelles' first win on the World Cup circuit. He was second last week in the 2-men, so things are going well. We're pretty happy with how things are going.
Seems this new partnership is working out okay so far.
Yeah, it's all right. He was sort of thrown into action, but you know, it's going to be a long year, so we'll see what happens.
Congratulations. We'll see you in Torino. Congratulations to all the medalists: Andre Lange, Marcus Zimmerman, Martin Annan, Cedric Grand. Martin Annan now the overall World Cup points leader.
Great day of racing on a traditional bobsled track here in Cortina d'Ampezzo, built for the '56 Olympics. They were sliding on the track since the mid-20s of the previous century. The women bobsledders were here for an historic race, 2-man bobsledding. The Canadian Pierre Lueders, he won today's race. So for my colleague Chris Kelly and all my technical crew from the Cinema Video Group, I'm John Morgan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you the next time on Speed.
On the
NBA League Pass from DirecTV is heaven. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS today.
A Fox News alert, the 11th Hour Coalition, which is what you're seeing on your screen, has just announced that they have a letter simultaneously being delivered to President Bush and Governor Bush in Tallahassee. What the group wants is for either or both men to invoke their executive powers to reinsert Terry Schiavo's feeding tube. This just now happening. But we've also gotten word from Waco, Texas, President Bush saying that he and Congress have done their best to help Terry Schiavo's parents prolong her life. And the White House is now saying it has no further legal options. We'll keep you posted. In the meantime, we have a special guest today. She starred in the soap opera Another World for 17 years. She's about to move on to Guiding Light next month. But in the meantime, actress Linda Dano wants you to know a little bit about her battle with depression in hopes that her revelations might help some of you. Linda Dano, it's really nice to have you here. Welcome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. 19 million Americans are reported to battle depression. Personally, I think the number's much higher.
I think it's much higher.
And you probably didn't see it coming when it happened to you.
No, I didn't. I went through a very difficult time these last few months. The end of last year, I lost both my husband and my mother within days of each other. And I was, of course, suffering from grief, and then it went into something altogether different that I couldn't get a handle on, and I've just recently been diagnosed with clinical depression.
Do you mind talking about your symptoms, just in case there are people out there who are saying, well, I don't know if this is what's wrong with me.
Yeah, it's just not enough that I'm sad. I'm sad because I've lost the love of my life. But it started to manifest itself. For instance, I have back pain, and it goes down my legs. I didn't know what that was. No doctor could find anything wrong with me. There's a hopelessness I feel. Now, I'm somebody with great energy and drive, and I have no interest in anything. So I think
not like right now as you're sitting here.
No, because
but there's some
it's
days,
you.
No. But I mean, you know, some days you wake up and you say, I don't want to get out of bed.
I did it last night.
Really?
The first day I started on Guiding Light, which is not going to air until April, I went out and I did Linda Dano, and I know a lot of people, and I was very up and positive. I'd go to the room and I'd cry. And then I'd clean myself back up, and out I'd go again, and I would perform my life. Not just act the part, but I would perform my life, which is not me at all. Now, I'm here to talk about this one thing that has saved me.
Literally saved you?
Literally has saved me, is my friends. And I realized in sharing and talking and being able to say how I felt about things helped me enormously. So interestingly enough, I've come together with Eli Lilly and the Women's Health Resource Center, and we've created a kind of idea, if you will, another way of helping if you're depressed, to getting friends and talking.
So, and you literally call the support partners.
I do.
So,
what, like,
for instance, in your life,
it's just your friend or
so
your
friends
clergy
who are your
or
designated support partners. What do they do?
They talk to me, they do physical things for me, they let me cry, they listen, we go out to dinner. I have one friend, a dear friend, who often comes to my house and walks my dog at night, because by the time it's time to go to bed, I can hardly get off the couch. I just can't. And I mean, everything. It's physical, it's emotional, but it's a way of sharing. You know, there's something, and you all know it sitting here and listening in America. When we talk and we share, there's something that opens up, and it's a freeing thing. And with this organization that we're calling Support Partners, but it can be any partner you pick. And if you don't know, there are 3 little guidebooks.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, that we have put together. And these little books
how do you get them?
You just call an 888 number, which is 818-7988, or you go on to the internet and go to depressionhurts.com.
Easy enough to remember.
There are all kinds of resources. And also, it's terribly important for those of you listening, if you have someone who's depressed, that you know something's just different, and you want to help and you don't know how to start that dialogue.